This is my tiny home, okay? It's a fucking tiny little shitbox. 1020 South Myrtle Street. And yes, I am smoking fentanyl, people.
Recently, Jacob Starr, who also goes by Hammer, told us that he's been at this tiny house for 7 months. Drugs are allowed.
You can get all high on the Fetty. Everybody that stays in these tiny homes is like a hardcore drug addict. And we all do drugs in our homes. We're allowed to possess them, allowed to use them, just not in the common areas.
90% or more of the people, he told me, are on drugs in these tiny house villages.
I mean, there's even like 3 or 4 people in here that are like selling drugs to people like me. Definitely not gonna name any names or nothing like that, but it's really going on. So,
as Jacob puts it, there might be 1 or 2 people on site that claim to be mental health care professionals or recovery coaches, but he never sees them and they're not proactive.
5 days to check to see if maybe you've overdosed or anything like that, so they don't check on people very well.
Yeah, they don't check on anybody at all, really. They don't give a fuck.
Why? Because these are called low barrier shelters, and it's just not required for Jacob or anybody to proactively use those services.
I don't know what these people are trying to tell the public, but I'm telling you firsthand, from me to the public, I'm doing drugs in my tiny home, and so is everybody else.
In fact, Jacob also went on to tell me he doesn't want to graduate from a tiny house village to a permanent supportive housing unit under Lehigh. For him, it just means I'm taking my drug habit from the streets to the tiny house to the permanent supportive apartment. This is what Housing First is. Why? Because nothing part of that continuum of care requires that he actually gets to the root problem of why he's homeless, and that's his drug addiction.
So, folks, just in case you don't know, this is methamphetamines. So now I'm actually tweaking.
That is unacceptable, and we have to do better.
Both Executive Zahilai and Mayor Katie Wilson are promising to do something different by adding more services around these shelters, breaking the cycle of addiction. We haven't gotten into the details of what that means, but from my experience for years, whether it's a tiny house village, a hotel, a permanent supportive housing unit, unless those wraparound services, meaning mental health care, substance abuse disorder treatment, job navigation, unless those services are required, we're not doing anything different.
We're talking about fucking Lehigh.
Yes, they're band-aiding everything instead of actually trying to fix things for us.
They're misappropriating federal funds. So.
Something different would include a tiny house to have Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous counseling rather than using a tiny house to use fentanyl with your drug dealer. If we prioritize cycling people towards self-sufficiency instead of warehousing addiction, we won't need endless new low-barrier bills. This is what doing something different could look like. Let's ask our leaders if this is on the table.